everyone. My name is Desiree King, and I'm proud to welcome you to the first edition of the Senior Living 411 series. Today's topic will be the 411 on senior home safety, and I'm here today with my husband and my partner in this business, Mr. Alpha King. We hope to take you through a lot of things, such as what are the risks of falling, what we can do to help, and how we can help, as well as a little bit more about the show.
Hello, welcome everyone. See a few people coming on board. Hey Conroy, how you doing? Mackie, welcome. Well, this is only a short update basically on what we've been doing and what we've been doing over the last couple of months, getting this business and this organization up and running, and how we got to this point. That's right. Why don't we talk about some of the numbers, like why people fall?
Yeah, so many people may not know, but the reality is that 1 in 3 adults over the age of 65 falls each year, and 50% of those over 80. Every 15 seconds, there's a senior person walking into a hospital emergency room because of a fall-related injury. So falls are definitely something that is happening a lot more than we may think with our loved ones and with those elderly people around us.
And some of these falls, it's the leading cause of death for those who are over 65. Falls cause serious injury, like hip fractures and head traumas. 25% of them are admitted into hospitals, like once you have a fall. And 40% of them are admitted into nursing homes. And we know what's happening now in these nursing homes that we weren't aware of before. The survival rate for falls is about 50%. 50% of people return to their previous mobility after a fall. So it is very timely that we look at this and we try to figure out how we can reduce this.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is really too, Alpha, is that those who fall are 2 to 3 times more likely to fall again. So it's not just a one-time thing, it's likely to happen again, because now there is a fright in their mind because it's happened and they're being more cautious. But in reality, the fact is it could happen again if what caused the fall in the first place is not really taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And what we see now, as you were saying, about 53% of the older adults who are discharged will fall again within those who have a hip fracture will fall within 6 months. Now check this out. By the time I finish saying this sentence, it's 14 seconds. Every 14 seconds, an older adult is treated in the emergency room for a fall. And by the time this presentation is over, another older adult would die from a fall-related injury. Yeah. Which is crazy, because you're thinking in 20 minutes, every 20 minutes, somebody falls and that's it. So falls are the leading cause of fatal injuries, and most common falls are that have non-fatal, they have head traumas and things like that. And that's what causing people to go into the hospitals. Now, this takes a toll on our economy. If you would believe, by the end of this year, they're saying that the expenses from fall-related injuries will reach $59.6 billion. So you can understand that there is a issue here that we need to take care of.
And the startling fact is that 55% of all falls take place inside the home. 55% take place inside the home. An additional 23% happen outside the home, but near the house. So what is that telling us? The place that we think we're the most safe can be the most dangerous, so to speak. because people are tripping in their own homes. And it's so sad to say how many times you hear of a senior person falling, and because they don't have the right emergency response devices, or their home is not safe enough, they lie there for hours, sometimes days. There's so many stories I can tell you that has happened to seniors where they do fall, but the fall is bad enough, but then there's no one alerted to help them.
And you know, and some of these falls that happen around the home, places that they know, more of them happen on the same level. They don't, if it's on the stairs, that's rare. Where it really happens is just walking down the hallway and tripping, or in the kitchen, and you know, and passing out due to some kind of medical injury. You know,
Yep.
so those are some of the facts.
Something as simple as an area rug. We love area rugs, especially being Caribbean in the household in the wintertime, the floor is cold. But an area rug, if not properly affixed to the floor, is a #1 tripping hazard. Poor lighting. All these are things that we may think are innocent enough, or our parents and loved ones may have lived all their lives with these things, but that as they get older, and different things like dementia, which causes you, not dementia, dementia as well, which as well can be a tripping hazard, but also diabetes. Your feet drag more. So you have a rug on the floor, it's not properly affixed, and you're more dragging, it can cause a serious injury. And you know, the thing is, the falls are one thing, that's a physical injury, but the mental trauma that it has on you, has on your loved ones, is even worse. The mental trauma can make a person who was once vibrant and active lose that confidence to continue maintaining the lifestyle that they once had. So now we have two things. We have the physical injury, and we have the mental trauma that this person is now experiencing.
You know, and I can talk firsthand on witnessing some of this. When I was, I would say about 10 years ago, my mother was here, very vibrant. She used to go out to her meetings on Wednesdays with her different groups. She'd have meetings on Monday. Prior to that, she used to go bowling and all those things that she would do. And she was active. Then some of the diseases, as you talked about, the diabetes, and my mother also had cancer, with cancer, and she also had some mini strokes that were happening. So she was having a lot of things that were affecting her and causing her to lose consciousness and different things. But I'll remember the first time that I was here one night, or one morning, she got up early in the morning to take her pills and whatnot, and she went into the kitchen, and I was asleep. I didn't have to get up that early that morning. So, but it was like an alarm that went off as her plate hit the ground. So I thought, well, maybe she just dropped it, she knocked it off. And when I called out, I didn't hear a response, came downstairs, and there she was on the kitchen floor. Now, that was one of the first falls. Now, we talked about this, as these occur, as you get older, they can occur more and more. The big one that really happened was when she was taking her insulin and she hadn't eaten yet, and she went downstairs to the basement to go and get something in the basement. And at this point, we didn't have a stair climber or anything like that, so she went downstairs, she came back up, and on her way back up, she lost her balance, and she fell back down the stairs onto a concrete floor in the basement. Now my mother is in a senior's residence, and she's got limited movement. She doesn't want to move. Now, I'm not saying that she can't, but she's at the point where she needs hip surgery. And because of COVID, she is unable to get that surgery done. It was lined up and ready to go for her for April, but she's now got to sit with this pain until she gets the hip surgery, and then try to rebuild. And that's one of the facts. We're going to talk about some of these myths that, even though you do have something like that, you can come back from it, and you can, with the proper exercise and stuff. We'll talk more about that.
So one of the biggest myths about falls is that they happen to other people and not to me. Well, the reality is that 1 in 3 older adults fall every year in Canada. And that's equal to about over 70,000 hospitalizations. Now think about the toll that takes on the economy, on the families, because a lot of us are in the sandwich generation as well. So our parents fall and require more attention. It now leads us to have to take time off work, and the mental anxiety as well. A lot of us don't even live in the same cities and towns with our parents. I know a lady whose father, he took a fall, and because he didn't have the 24-hour care he needed, he lay on the bathroom floor for about 12 hours. This was in a retirement residence, actually, sad enough. But because he was independent living, he wasn't in the proper level, or he was waiting to be moved to the right level. He laid there and his brain started bleeding, and he ended up dying. So it's not a joke, and falls can happen to anyone.
Myth number 2 is falling is something normal that happens as you get older. Well, that is another myth, because if you do strength, as Asata McKenzie would tell you, if you do strength and balance exercises and managing your medication and having your vision checked, you can make your environment safer, and you could avoid falling. You can prevent falls just with some easygoing strength and balance exercises.
Yeah, and also making your living environment safer. It's a combination of things. It's not one thing that stops or prevents. Nothing is 100% foolproof. But my saying that my grandmother used to say is prevention is better than cure. So we're looking at a more holistic preventative methods. So yeah, exercising, balance and strength training, as well as making the home safer.
Definitely.
So the third myth we have is that as long as you stay home, you can avoid falling. Far from true. You saw the statistics I gave you earlier, I mentioned earlier on, most 55%, I think, of the falls happen in the home. So definitely far from true. As a matter of fact, most of the falls happen in the home.
And as you said earlier, simple fixes, the hazard of the clutter on the floor, throw rugs or poor lighting can make you disorientated and just throw you off, and you could slip and fall.
Yeah.
Myth number 4.
Yes, this is the biggest one. The myths get longer and longer as we go on, don't they, Alpha? The
Yes,
biggest
they do.
one. I don't need to talk to my parent, spouse, or other loved one about it. It's their business, and I'm concerned, but I don't want to hurt their feelings or make them make them think I'm demeaning them or taking away some of their freedom. And that is so far away from true.
I know that it's one of these things that you have to talk. There's a book that you had out, speaking to seniors.
How to Say It to Seniors by David Soley.
Right. So that is another, you just have to know how to speak about this situation, and you're just looking out for their best interests.
Well, the 2 key points to realize when you're speaking with an older person is that there are fundamentally 2 things they're concerned about: loss of control, loss of independence, and their legacy. And a good way to put it is that all throughout life, you get older and you look forward to it. So you're 10 years old, you look forward to being a teenager, you look forward to being a young adult in your 20s, you look forward to being in your 30s, even look forward to being in your 40s, because 40s is the new 30s. But when you hit a certain age, you start looking backwards at what the things you used to do, the things you used to like doing, which you still like doing, but you may not be able to do it in the same capacity. So definitely a good book for everyone to read, and I'll post it after the video is done, is How to Say It to Seniors by David Soley. He really gets into the mindset of what it's like to be an older person and explain, instead of getting into an argument with your parents, how to have these important conversations.
Okay, and once you've had those important conversations, remind them that it is preventable. These falls are preventable. In order to stay independent and reduce the chances of falling, as we said before, exercise, balance. That's number 1. Number 2, Manage your medication. Sometimes a mix of medication, just even you have your medication from the doctor, and then you may take some other naturopathic medicine, and that causes a change in your equilibrium. Okay, so watch out for that.
Yeah, take your medications to your pharmacist, whether you think they're herbal, prescription, non-prescription, they could still have conflicting effects on your balance and on the whole. So let them overlook everything so you know exactly what works with what, when to take it. Some medications you may have to take and sit down and relax for a while. It's a very good idea to be aware of that. And also have your vision checked at least once a year. Your eyesight can change tremendously within such a short period of time. So definitely have your eyesight checked. And Alpha, as I've been saying throughout this whole thing, make your living environment safer. Make your living environment safer.
So before we get to that, and just again with the vision, don't you notice that the writing on these medication bottles have gotten smaller? No, this is a true thing. This is, you know, this is why I have glasses all of a sudden. I never wore glasses, 20/20 vision all the time, but as we age, things change. So we're gonna have to look out for that. So
and
now
and that's why even as part as a safety check, lighting is a big thing as well that we go through when we go through the home. The lighting, there's different types of lighting, which I won't really go into, but there's different types of lighting depending on what the task is that you are doing.
All right. Well, we only have a few more minutes, so let's get into what Senior Living 411 Inc. will do to help make that home safer.
So basically what we're saying is that a comprehensive home safety assessment is vital in keeping people at home where they want to be, because when you speak to most seniors and most people, they don't want to go to a retirement residence. They don't want to go to a long-term care facility. They want to stay right there in their home for as long as possible. And that's the bottom line, which is perfectly fine. You want to stay in the neighborhood where you're accustomed to. You have your doctors, your friends, your community. You want to stay in your house, but let's do so safely. Now, you may be wondering as well, why is this so relevant at a time like this during COVID? Now, I'm sure you've all been watching the news. 50% of the deaths that have occurred during COVID have occurred in long-term care or retirement residences. Why? Because they're in shared spaces. There are people coming, the people that they're using shared healthcare providers. There are people being transferred, not as much, but people being transferred from one place to another. And I guarantee you this, a fall could make or break the difference between you staying at home or having to go into long-term care.
Yep. So these hospital visits will lead to isolation, as only the injured person could go into the hospital. So we want to try and keep them out. Seniors who are more vulnerable with underlying health conditions are more vulnerable to catching the virus. So again, it's another place we want to keep them out and keep them safe. So the answer, once again, is prevention.
Yes. So the company history, Senior Living 411. Many of you may know me as being a realtor, which I have been for the past 6 years. And my specialty was working with seniors, helping them to determine their living options, which included aging in place, which means staying at home, or moving into a retirement living residence. A little bit of background, a lot of questions I get asked whenever I do these type of seminars is, well, you look so young. What do you know about being a senior? Why do you care? And my answer is usually this. It started from 14 years old. My mother made me go and volunteer to be a dietary aide. I'm dating myself, but yes, another dietary aide, a candy striper, where I actually wore a striped costume and went around and spoke to seniors in hospitals. I then went on throughout my high school years working as a dietary aide in several hospitals in Scarborough. From there, I went on over the past 30 years. I've worked in many leadership positions, as well as I've owned many companies working with seniors. Most recently, as I said, as a senior real estate specialist. And what I've realized is during COVID especially, and during my real estate career, I realized that my passion lay more with working with seniors than it did with real estate. And I'm very purpose driven. I've learned to be very purpose driven. We're all here for a reason. We're all here to serve a purpose. And I've realized that my purpose is to serve seniors. I've taken many, I didn't just jump up and say, oh, let me go inspect seniors' homes. No, I've been doing this for the past 6 years. I have recently teamed up with Age Safe Canada, which is a division of Age Safe America, which is a North America-wide company that does training, mentorship, and leadership for people that are interested in serving seniors in this capacity. And I've received my senior home safety specialist certification. I also have a certified senior housing professional certification. And I've also taken a course in gentle persuasion approach, which is methods of dealing with those that have Alzheimer's, dementia related illnesses. So and there's a whole slew of other courses I've taken. It's not about me going through all my credentials. I'm just saying it's not something I just jumped up and decided to do one day just because. This is truly something that I'm passionate about and something that I firmly believe will become more prevalent after or now that we're exiting this COVID pandemic. As we know, the waiting lists even to get into retirement residences and long-term care facilities can be quite lengthy. So really, there is a need, even if someone is looking at going into a retirement residence, you may be on a waiting list. And truth be told, a fall can determine your condition, whether or not you get into the place you want to get into or not. So it's all about being proactive and really making sure that you're in your home safely.
So what we do is we offer a turnkey solution to helping older adults remain independent and concerned family members to rest easy. Senior Living 411 offers an affordable and comprehensive 240-point home safety assessment. We will leave the clients or these older adults with a written safety survey summary and some recommendations on what they can do to make their home safer. We will also make minor modifications that can help them, securing maybe just an area rug on the floor or some simple lighting fixtures that can make it a lot easier and a lot safer for them. So these are some of the simple things that we can do once the assessment is complete.
And what's great about that as well is throughout my many years of experience, I've developed a network of resources. So we don't just leave you with an assessment saying, well, you need to get bars installed, or you need to get this and that done. I have made those relationships for you. You don't need to go shopping around and Googling for people. I have people that I have pre-screened, they're vetted, they're qualified, that have a vested interest in helping seniors as well. So I'll be able to make those recommendations. But along with that, we also offer a maintenance service. This is great for people who don't live in the same homes or seniors who are orphan seniors with no children, as we call them. So what that is that at the end of the safety assessment, you can then purchase a monthly maintenance package where we come by once a month and we check up to make sure that everything is, no bulbs are blown, the smoke detector is working, little things like that around the home. You're not starting to clutter again, because clutter is a huge thing. Or you can get a quarterly assessment, which would be seasonal, or a once a year assessment, really depending on how much help you have as a senior. With the monthly package, we also make a weekly checkup phone call just to make sure everything is okay. And if anything is off, we will come by whenever need be, just to ensure that everything is in place and that you're in your home safely.
Now, with this time that we've had off from our regular duties and things like that, I continued working, but I also took the senior home safety assessment or home safety specialist course as well. And I too am certified as a senior home safety specialist. So with these, we are ready to come out and help in all aspects here.
Yes. So basically, that's an overview of what we do. The Senior Living 411 series is a show that I started back in late 2018. Took a slight pause on it because sometimes in life you have to take a pivot, and they say a setback is a setup for a comeback. I think that's from Les Brown. And so therefore, yes, I am back. And with that being said, the Senior Living 411 series is back as well. What does that mean? Well, it means every 2 weeks, every second Sunday of the month at 7 p.m., I will have someone in one of my many affiliates come on and talk to me about what they do and how they can help seniors in their career as well. So that works in two ways. If you have a business that you feel can work well with what we are doing to serve seniors, reach out to me. As well as if you run into clients that are seniors that you think would benefit from these services, reach out to us as well. It works both ways. We are in this to serve. So next week on Sunday, June the 21st at 7 p.m., I'll be having Janice Gordon joining us. Janice is a reflexology and therapeutic massage therapist, and we'll be giving you the 411 on reflexology and therapeutic massages for seniors. She goes to their homes. She also has a location you can go to, and looking forward to having Janice join us.
Right.
The bottom line really is to let's give seniors and their families a peace of mind. This is really what it's about. Peace of mind for the senior, peace of mind for their family members. And you know what? It really is a peace of mind for the system as well. We hear about too many seniors waiting in hospitals when they shouldn't be there, waiting to go into a transitional home to get into a long-term care facility. A lot of these reasons, yes, there are other underlying health conditions, but falls is one of the major reasons for it. So our bottom line mission is to serve and help as many seniors as possible and their families. And think about it as well. We are in our, we're getting older. We are getting older. We'll one day be there as well. So even if you think about having your parents living with you, the home, and you make slight modifications, the home will now be ready for when you get older as well. So there's a twofold purpose in having it done.
All right. So remember to contact us. You can call us at the 800 number. Can you share your screen just to?
The 800 number is 1-800-439-8750. We'll put it up towards the end of the video, and or you can check the website at seniorliving411.com. Very easy to remember, seniorliving411.com.
Excellent. And remember, as Maya Angelou said, your legacy is every life you've touched. So we are out there and we are going to help as many seniors as we can. We have some different programs as we're going to help educate them. We're going to help equip them. We're going to ensure their safety. We're going to empower them, and we're going to elevate them at Senior Living 411. Thank you for watching and have yourself a safe weekend.
See you next week. Bye.